Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. This is my first ever live. I hope we can do a small sketch. Um, right, so this is the first time that I've ever done a live. Thank you for joining in. Um, for those of you who are not familiar with my art and my channel, um, thank you for being here. And for those of you who have been here for a long time, thank you so much as well. So today I am going to be sketching this simple plant. It's a very simple subject, but it has a very it has very intricate details actually. We're not going to be doing a very detailed sketch. We're just going to be doing a loose sketch. We're just going to try and get an impression of this plant. The things that I'll be using, the materials, will be this pen. I use it a lot in my videos because I'm just comfortable with it. It has waterproof ink in it. And I will also be using watercolor. Just basic supplies, very basic. So today we're just doing a trial run of this live. I'll see how I like this because I've never really done a live. So yeah, so I apologize in advance if I make any mistakes. I hope the audio is doing all right. So this is a test sketch that I just did in my, this is a Daily Brownie sketchbook. It's not a watercolor paper. So the first thing, if you're a beginner, first thing is use watercolor paper and waterproof ink because later we're going to be using watercolor over that pen ink sketch. So this one is just it's a test run, just a small, quite big actually. It's going to be bigger than the normal sketch. This is kind of the type of style that I'm going to be doing. Maybe I'll make it a little more neat, a little neater. But I just want to say that it's not going to be exactly the same. That's not what you're going to get in this tutorial, this demo. Okay, so let's just start. First things first, I'm going to be sketching a very small version of it. So it's going to be smaller than the photo. I hope you can see the photo. Anyway, first thing I always do is I imagine how big it's going to be on the page. So I really love sketching because it's like a meditation for me. I'm not trying to create a masterpiece. We're just trying to enjoy sketching. That's all. So no pressure, no stress here. If it comes out really bad, I apologize as well. So, okay. So we're going to start with the silhouette. And I think we're going to go down about 2/3 of this page. So this part, 2/3. So we're going to start with a few marks on the top. So the leaves on the top will be a little bit bigger than the leaves on the bottom. So it's like, as you can see here, the leaves here are bigger because they're nearer to us. And you can see that from far away, you can see that this plant has a few more prominent clumps of leaves. So one here, and one here. So it's like three, generally it's like three clumps of leaves. So that's how you kind of simplify. All right, so we're doing the first top clump here. Thank you everyone for joining in my first live. I didn't really plan this. It's really impromptu. So I hope it comes out well. If it doesn't, that's fine. So, okay, first clump, and then we're going to the second one. Okay. So just trying to get that silhouette in. You don't have to fill in all the gaps. So we have a few here and here. Okay, that's the second clump. Now we're going to the bottom clump, the biggest one. So maybe we'll go slightly more freer with those strokes. Right. So it's not a perfect round. It's just, well, yep. So then we have these layers of leaves. Slanting out. Okay, so we have a very basic silhouette. Does it look weird? Wait, I'm not used to this. Let me check the comments. Right. Yes, this is my first stream. Thank you everyone for joining in. So the thing about sketching is you don't know what the outcome will be like exactly. So let's hope this will come out well. Okay, so now I think it's a bit too clean. Let's have a few stray leaves. Let's see. Okay. So let's do the trunk of that tree somewhere here. And we're not going to have a very similar pot because I don't have enough space at the bottom of this page anymore. So it's going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, not as long. very short, a very short pot. No worries. Okay, just a few lines here. Okay. Okay, so I like to do some cross-hatching a little bit. Can you guys really see? So this is what we have right now. It looks a little bit like a comic tree. Actually, if it was a bit more regular, I think it would be a Christmas tree already. So, okay, so I think for the inking, we are done for now. We can always do more inking later. We can add more detail later. I'm thinking, so when you're at this stage when you want to move on to the next step, it's always like you have to stand back and reevaluate things. Do I want to add more, or do I want to go to the next stage, or should I go in more and do more details? When you're at this point, I find it better to take a pause, just stare at your reference and your sketch, and just consider for a moment, you know. I know it's not a very fast sketch. I'm not a very fast sketcher. People who watch my videos know that. So I guess, yeah, I guess we are done for now. So let's start with some watercolor. So I'm just going to be using these paint brushes. These are new, so I hope I don't make a mess because I'm not used to them. So just, okay, so the first step would be to mix some green, or to just use the green here. I think we can just use the green over here. This is sap green. And I'm going to use this plate for mixing. It's actually a plate I got from Daiso, Japan. I'm really surprised that a lot of people wrote comments about this plate. I haven't been able to find it anywhere now. It's I think they don't make it anymore. I bought it like really long time ago. Okay. So I guess you can see me mixing here. So we're going to put down the first light green. Oh, I hope you can see. Okay, right. So this is like a mid-tone green. Maybe I should hold it. Okay. So sap green plus yellow ochre. Okay, I think we need a much lighter green, much yellower. So I'm gonna mix a bit of this yellow. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna set that down. And to make things easier, I'm just going to pick up some of that green paint on a different brush. And I'm going to mix a little bit of ultramarine in that green to make it a little bit darker. All right. Okay. I'm trying to fit everything in this camera view. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're just going to start with maybe one clump or two clumps of leaves. I don't want to do the whole thing at once. So I'm just going to test out. Not wet enough. I think we need a bit more water. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yep, that's enough water. Like super wet. I feel like the page is a bit too far away. Maybe it's a bit small and you can't see. Anyway, this is like the first time we're doing a live, so we're just going to go with the flow and see how things go. Okay. All right. So remember to leave some white space. Don't fill in the whole thing. So the shadows are more on the left lower sides, and the right side is brighter, right top side. Okay, we're just having some fun here. Okay, so as we go downwards, we're having a bit more liberty and pressing harder with that brush. Good, okay. I think we can put a bit more green into this mix. And then we're going to dab it in. See how that goes. It's always fun to see watercolor mix on the page. Here. So if I put it here, I think it's clearer, right? But you just can't see the reference photo. I hope that's fine. Oh, I like that. So left side is a bit darker. And then we also have layers of that shading that we're going to do later as well. So generally we're adding darker green on the left lower sides. No need to stay in the lines. No need to fill up the whole, no need to fill it up like a comic. We're doing a loose sketch, so we're going to be as loose as we like. So, okay, we're going to take a bit of that dark green. And actually, we're going to make it a bit darker. We just add a bit more blue. It's fun to experiment with paints and see how they change when you add a bit more of this paint or a bit more of that paint. And okay, let me see how this works. Yep. So there's a big patch of shadow right here. So good. Okay. So we're going to come in with more shadow later when this layer has dried. So this is the first layer. I want to really do a lot of that wet on wet, but I'm not doing the bottom part yet. I just want to make it easier to handle, so we're just doing it in sections. Okay, so we have like layers, just like in a photo. I love how that paint is mixing on the page. This is a Kadi sketchbook, by the way. It's 100% cotton watercolor paper. I like how it's going. So I like how this looks. So I'm going to proceed with the bottom half with similar paints. So, but we have a very yellow part on this section right here. So maybe we will how should we do it? Maybe we'll add a bit more water so that it's brighter at that section. You can see that it's just trial and error sometimes. So we're getting, we'll try to put down bigger strokes because we have bigger leaves at the bottom. It's not just that it's near to us. The plant does have bigger leaves here and smaller leaves on the top, right? Not a plant expert, obviously. Right. Come here. I think we're running out of paint, so that's fine. We will add a little bit more of that yellow here. So it doesn't have to be all the same color. We have so many colors on one plant, right? There are so many colors. So we add a bit of that yellow here as well. I like how it's drying here. Just a bit more yellow here. Okay. All right. So we're leaving a bit of space for the shadows. Okay, adding more green. I'm talking too much and I'm distracting myself from painting. So I'm not used to doing talking and painting at the same time. I usually do the voiceover after I've done the recording. So today is, well, it's a special day. So now we're going a bit more loose here. I think it's cool. This part has too much white, so we're just gonna connect them together, the top and bottom. There are some spaces between the leaves where the light shows through, but not as much as this. That's okay, we can still adjust that as we go along. It's nice to have leaves peeking through these small little spaces. That's why we have the spaces. It can also act as highlights. Okay, so now we're going for the darker green. I am quite enjoying this. All right, so we have very deep shadows at the bottom here. This part right here. I think we need more paint on the brush, so we add more paint as we go along. You can see that the paint is really still very wet. So that's a good thing. We can do a lot of wet on wet. And we can adjust things. But it's fun, but you can't go overboard because that will create a big mess. So just don't go. Just dab in the paint. Always look back at the reference photo. Okay, so the top part is drier now. This is a very loose interpretation of this plant. Okay, we have a bit of wet paint here. We can add a bit more if we want. We can starting to get hard edges here if we paint here because it's very dark. It's very dry now. So maybe we'll leave that for later. And just get in these darker shadows. Okay. So now we're just going to pause for a while and view this from afar. That's what I do all the time when I'm painting. I actually have a lot of pauses between different stages, just thinking about how it looks, what I need to add. Right now, I think it's for the first layer. I think it's okay. All right. So we're doing pretty well here. Quite a quick sketch. Now we're just going to do the branches. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining in. I've always wanted to do a live. I actually mentioned doing one, but I never did it. So today I decided I would just do it and try it out and see. I hope it is okay. So I'm mixing some burnt sienna and burnt umber for that branch. And I'm also going to be using a little bit of yellow ochre. So I'm just going to use a small brush for that. Yep, okay. So I'm just going to put in that yellow ochre first. I feel like it's too far away, like the page is too far away. I'm so not used to doing this because I always pre-record. Just a dab of yellow ochre, and then we come in with the brown. Really quickly. Maybe a bit more brown here. Okay. This is going to be a quick, very quick one. Right, so I'm going to dab a little bit of brown here. See how that looks. Okay. So what color should the pot be? Should we follow the reference or should we just do our own color? I think for today we can try something like a burnt umber. Burnt sienna. So not exactly the same as the photo, but a bit more red. So it complements all that green. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to do our own color, yeah? You don't have to follow the reference exactly. I'm painting this just for me and for you. We're not creating any masterpieces. So we're just going to have some fun. The most important thing in life, I think, is to remember to have fun. If you don't, then what is life anyway, right? I like how it seems like there's a lot of a light shining here. And we also have a lot of white here. So I'm just going to make this part very light. So I'm just washing off the paint from my brush. And moving that paint over. So we have, yeah. So we have like an impression of light coming from the side. So when we add shadows later, it's going to be even more prominent. Light and shadow, that's what we want in our paintings. So the final thing that we're going to add here before we do the shadows is those, what is that? Is that soil? Yep, it's soil. So we're just going to do some brown. Maybe a bit more burnt umber and some ultramarine as well. So I always darken my mixes with ultramarine, the easiest way. Right? Some here. Okay. Cool. So now on my brush I have a very dark color. And I'm just going to be using that for some of our shadows. So I'm just going to go in for this. I love how this sketchbook retains that moisture on the top of the page for a very long time. So you can just play with the paint. All right. Okay, I think we are ready for shadows. So let's mix the shadow colors. Let's do it here. It's actually the same colors. Very simple. Burnt sienna, burnt umber, and ultramarine. Very dark. So it's quite interesting to have brown and blue create this grayish color. And we're going to use that for the shadows. I think actually we're going to have to add a bit more green shadows first. So let's go back and get some of that green on a different brush. Let's make that green darker. Okay, I like that. All right, so we are going to start at the darkest parts. So it's still a little bit moist, still a little bit wet. So that paint is going to spread. That's a lot of paint. So I'm going to dab that off. Maybe I should have waited a little bit for that to dry a bit more. So now it's spreading a little bit too much. It's all good. We're going to just continue. Okay, just move higher up. So every time you have some doubts, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep referencing the photo. You have a reference, just try and follow that. And see, we have some shadows here, we have some shadows here. Don't go overboard. You can always come back and add more. So I think I went a little bit overboard here. I would just clean that up later. All right. So the top part, let's see. I'm just gonna put this down. Okay. Sketching and painting is like my meditation. As I mentioned before, I just enjoy being in my own world, creating my own world. And I guess a lot of people enjoy sketching because of that as well. Do let me know why you love sketching in the comments. I love reading your comments, but I can't reply to everyone. But I appreciate all of you for your comments and for just being here. It really motivates me every time I read your comments, and I feel like I'm connecting with so many people on this platform, and it's just really fun, you know? I know I haven't been posting a lot recently, and I wish I could like post more, but well, I still need to live my life outside of YouTube, so maybe I will start posting more later when I have more time. And if I enjoy doing lives, it actually probably will save me a lot of time because I do a lot of hours of post editing, and that is one of the things that causes me to not post, because I just can't spend the time and do all those long YouTube videos. Okay, adding some green somewhere else besides the top. Was it a bit blur? I'm not so sure how this works because you can't like focus like you normally do. Does it autofocus? Sorry, I'm really new at live streaming. But I do kind of like what we have here. Yep. I think the green is fine. So now we're going to add in some gray. The final step. I like how all of you are just so supportive. Of course, I understand that maybe how I paint and how I present is not for everyone. Somebody said, it sounds like I'm doing AI voice or something. Like, oh, I don't know if it is a compliment or not. But well, now you know I'm not AI because I'm live. Is that how it works? Okay, so we're adding that gray black tone to the very darkest areas. I hope this is helpful for you guys who are watching. And it's really fun to paint outside of that silhouette. So actually you don't really see all of that ink outline. So it's like a combination of, so the silhouette is like a combination of the paint and the ink. And that's what that's what I love to do. That's what I'm aiming for. This is cool. Okay, we'll add a bit more of that shadow at the bottom here. So this is tricky. We don't have enough space, but we're just going to try. Okay, bit more blue to my brush. So how am I going to do this when I don't have enough space? We're just going to try something like this, right? Just like this. So light is coming like this. It connects. We're going to connect some of these little islands. Yeah, I think that will be more natural. Okay, I think we're almost done here. Yep. Thank you so much, Black N. Thank you for your comment and for liking my sketch. Hello, Miyaugi's mom. I'm still getting used to this format. I am not sure how to even look back at the comments. But yep, I will try and save this so that I can read it back. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so I can see the comments now. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys are just like the best. So I really enjoyed this session. we are done here. I'm just going to sign this, as we always do. I mean, the painting isn't even dry yet, actually. I'm just going to sign here. Yeah. All right. I love how it turned out. Better than I actually expected. So I actually wanted to do this kind of sketch, but I decided not to do the shading. But actually, if you did do that shading, I think it would look pretty cool as well. So maybe I will add that in later when this dries. But currently I kind of like it as it is. It's kind of like a Christmas tree. So happy end of the year to everyone. It's November, end of November now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Yeah, so I will try and do more videos and live streams. And thank you so much for being here. To remember to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye. Thank you.